New Zealand feels like it's on the other side of the world for most people, and for some it literally is. But it is one of the most dreamed of holiday destinations for thousands of people, even millions. But what makes New Zealand so desirable as a vacation destination? It is a relatively small country, with only about 1,000 miles from one end to the other. Today, we're going to take a look at the top 10 places you absolutely must see and do in New Zealand. Number 6. Queenstown. Queenstown is for sure one of the cities in New Zealand that most people can probably name, and the city lives up to its name because it's fancy enough for royalty. Queenstown is famous for being a very high society, with beautiful architecture and the kinds of houses only the wealthy can afford to live in. It's absolutely gorgeous, and you can easily spend a day exploring all the beautiful surrounding areas. There's a hill overlooking Queenstown with a cable car that you can ride, which offers a breathtaking view over the city. There are also plenty of places to go kayaking, bungee jumping, and mountain bike riding. So if you want to be busy during the day, there's a lot to choose from. When you're finished for the day, you can spend the evening exploring all the amazing restaurants, bars, and cafes in the evening. So in short, Queenstown is where to head if you want some fancy city exploring and nightlife. And you can also blend it with some fun and exciting daytime activities. Alternatively, spend the day roaming the fancy city soaking in the gorgeous architecture. Number 5. Hawke's Bay. Now, if you like wine, this is the place you definitely need to visit. Hawke's Bay is in the northern end of New Zealand, and luckily it has a local airport nearby, so you don't need to make a long drive. If you fancy coming to Hawke's Bay, we recommend spending a couple of days here to get the most out of your trip. Not only that, but there's a lot to explore. Hawke's Bay is actually known as wine country, so it's famous for its wine production. There are over 200 vineyards in the area, and the naturally warm and sunny climate means that you can enjoy them year-round. The naturally flat geography means that it is absolutely perfect for one thing: cycling. There are miles and miles of cycling trails, and so many people each year flock to Hawke's Bay to go on cycling tours of the various wineries. But make sure you don't sample too much wine before getting on your bicycle. Napier and Hastings are nearby, and you must absolutely visit these two cities. They're famous for having unique Art Deco influences, and there's even an Art Deco festival every February. There's a lot packed into this little corner of the world, so it's definitely worth the short flight from the mainland part of New Zealand. Number 4. Fiordland National Park. Now this is a real special one. It is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Fiordland National Park is on the southern island of New Zealand, and there's an awful lot to explore here. If you are staying near Queensland, you can easily take a day trip here to just see a little bit of the beautiful vistas. Or if you want to really get into it and explore properly, then it would be easy to lose a few days to the wonder that is around you here. There are some really unique things to do here, as the national park has an enormous and breathtaking lake, glacial fjords, hiking trails, and forests for miles. If you want to do the full camping and hiking experience, we recommend hiking from Milford Sound and Te Anu Lake. The trip is very well known and is known as the Milford Track, and it takes about 4 days to get from one end to the other. Once you get to Te Anu, there's one tour that we recommend doing: the Glowworm Cave Tour. You heard us right, glowworms. There are caves all around the lake that you sail to with your guide, and you spend a few hours exploring the ancient caves and the unique residents who live there. The glowworms light up the rocky walls of the caves, bathing everything in an otherworldly glow. It's certainly an experience you won't get anywhere else. Number 3. Hobbiton. You know we couldn't do a list about New Zealand without mentioning this one. Whether you are a movie buff or not, but especially if you are, you can't visit New Zealand without seeing Hobbiton. There are lots of companies around the Shire set where The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings movies were filmed, so there's always an opportunity to go and explore if you're in the area. Of course, the Lord of the Rings movies were filmed all over New Zealand, not just in Hobbiton. If you want to see more natural sights that were in the movies, there are a ton of options, like the incredible mountain where Mount Doom scenes were filmed. Or you could go to Christchurch and visit Edoro, where the people of Rohan are based. If you're feeling adventurous, you could go to Wellington and visit the workshop where the props and creature effects were made. The orcs are a bit scary, of course, but seeing the intricate set pieces up close is something else. But you can't go wrong with stepping into the Shire. Hobbiton is located near Waikato, and there are all kinds of things to see. Obviously, you can see all the incredible picture-perfect hobbit holes and visit the famous Bag End. You can also stop by the Green Dragon in for a drink and see the party tree. It's all well worth stopping by on your tour of New Zealand, as the pictures you get from here will make everyone you know super jealous. Number 2. Wellington. Wellington is famous the world over. It is the capital city of New Zealand and is the perfect size to explore on vacation. It's a decently sized city to spend time looking around, but it isn't so huge that you'll get overwhelmed if you're only there for a short while. Obviously, with Wellington being the capital city, it is a much commuted hub with New Zealand's main financial district. However, with it also being such a tourist and community spot, there's a huge section of the city that is devoted to a unique arty subculture. You could stay by the ocean front and have a morning jog around the waterside, or you could rent out a high-rise apartment with beautiful cityscape views. There are loads of bars, restaurants, and activities in the city center to enjoy, but in the surrounding area of Wellington, there's even more. There is the incredible Wellington Zoo, with gorgeous animal exhibits and creatures from all around the world. Plus, it's the world's first accredited Carbon Zero certified zoo. If all that doesn't make you want to pay a visit, we don't know what will. There's also the cable car if you want something a little more laid back. The cable car that ascends the hills behind the city is a bit of a Wellington treasure. It is very historical and maintained to perfection. The views from the top are stunning. You can see for miles out to see past the harbor. There's also a fantastic animal reserve nearby, which is a safe haven for all different kinds of prey animals that live there. There are not any predatory animals that live in the sanctuary, so these animal species thrive without having to worry about being eaten. It's a pretty amazing ecosystem. Speaking of the harbor, you could easily while away a sunny afternoon getting some ice cream and strolling along the seaside. Wellington Harbor and Queenside Wharf are great for walks. You could relax watching the glittering ocean, or participate in some water sports like paddleboarding or kayaking. Number 1. Coromandel Peninsula. Now, the Coromandel Peninsula is absolutely heavenly. It's a pretty big location stretching 50 miles across the Northern Island. It's got a bit of everything that New Zealand has to offer, all in one gorgeous place. If you do end up exploring what Coromandel has to give, there are a few things here that we definitely recommend you should do. Firstly, go to Cathedral Cove and take the walking trail there. Cathedral Cove is one of the most beautiful beaches in Coromandel, which is saying something, because the entire region is jaw-droppingly beautiful. If you like walking, there's also an excellent walking trail at Pinnacles Walk, with some incredible views as well. To see everything that Coromandel has to offer, you might have to take a few days here to really soak it all in. Plus, you'll need the evenings to relax after all that walking. It will be worth it though, as there are walks, views, beaches, swimming, and hiking all around. A little bit of what makes New Zealand so special, all in one place. Thanks for watching today, guys. Which part of New Zealand are you planning or hoping to visit one day? Let us know in the comments below.